What's up? My name is Pat Ford. I'm making this video because today marks the 2-year anniversary of what I would label as, it's part of my language, the fucking most horrific covert program that's ever taken place in the history of the world. And I know this because it's happening to me. I don't think I'm special. I didn't take the small bus to school. Wasn't a genius, but I would consider myself fairly intelligent, empathetic person. I always have been hypersensitive, emotionally, everything. I have red hair, blue eyes. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I just feel like it was like a gift of discernment, for lack of a better word. Just intuition, gut feeling, instinct, whatever you want to say. That's anyway. It's a long, complicated story that started all of a sudden. It was like my world turned to black. Ironically, one of my favorite songs of all time is "Black" by Pearl Jam, and that's what happened. My world has turned black. So August 21st signifies something to me because it's a day I won't forget. It's a day I think that's led to this life that I'm in, this paradigm, this whole new world that I was made aware of, that I wasn't before August 21st of 2016. It's August 21st, 2018. So it's led me down this rabbit hole of just unprecedented proportion. Like, things I didn't want to know, things I would have never known, things I didn't care to know about. I was happy with my little life. But I regress. I want to start off with the speech that was given by, any T.I.s probably heard this before, because anyone that is in my community of people know about, they've been awakened to all this, and they know about it too. And it's horrific. When I tell you horrific, it's horrific. It's they call it the silent Holocaust. No touch torture, amongst other things. I just call it hell on earth, the spiritual war. So for those of you who don't know this, John F. Kennedy gave a speech a week before he was killed. And conspiracy theorists believe he was killed by the CIA. And I'm not a historian by no means, but I can tell you this. What history told us the single bullet is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I mean, what this thing has done to me has, with 100% certainty, I found the answers to questions that go from this big, it's really the little ones that I have problems figuring out, like my life. Who, who's a part of this? Who isn't? Who's taking part in this evil demonic regime that is, I believe, covertly making their way, putting their tentacles in every part of our society, or they have. It's been hundreds of years in the making. Anyway, I want to read an excerpt from John F. Kennedy's speech. And he made this to Congress April 27, 1961, from the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York. So to get down to the gist of it, he writes, I want to talk about our common responsibilities in the face of a common danger. The events of recent weeks may have helped to illuminate, keep that word in mind, illuminate the challenge for some. But the dimensions of its threat have loomed large on the horizon for many years. Whatever our hopes may be for the future, for reducing this threat or living with it, there is no escaping either the gravity or the totality of its challenge to our survival and to our security, a challenge that confronts us in an unaccustomed ways in every sphere of human activity. This deadly challenge imposes upon our society two requirements of direct concern both to the press and to the president, two requirements that may seem almost contradictory in tone, but which must be reconciled and fulfilled if we are to meet the national peril. I refer first to the need for far greater public information, and second to the need for far greater official secrecy. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. We are as a people inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of the excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it is in my control, and no official of my administration, whether his rank high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts that they deserve to know. So he goes on to, today no war has been declared. However fierce the struggle may be, it may never be declared in the traditional fashion. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends are in danger. And yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed. There's no marching troops. No missiles have been fired. If the press is awaiting a declaration of war before it imposes the discipline of combat conditions, then I can only say that no war ever posed a greater threat to our security. If you are waiting to find clear and present dangers, that I can only say that danger has never been more clear and its presence has never been more imminent. It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in missions by the government, by the people, by every businessman and labor leader, and by every newspaper. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy